Hi, this is Jason from DTB Traders. This video is going to be for members who have just signed up for the DTB system, and also for members who just want to get back to basics and learn a really simple approach to scalping the markets. So I'm going to go and try and be as detailed as possible in the setup phase, so that you don't have to go and rewatch and rewind the video, and at least it can be made nice and simple so that you can actually progress effectively. So these are the aspects that we are going to be covering. So we're going to be looking at how to import the tools and the setup of the different accounts, creation of the trading hours template, as well as workspaces, chart setup, strategy analyzer, and strategy setup, as well as the scalping chart. So in your members area, you're going to have a link to download the tools. So once you have downloaded the tools, we'll just click on that. So tools, and I'll just bring up the right folder. All right. So these are the three files that you are going to download to your computer. So you will basically import them. It will be a zip file. You can save them to your computer. You should have three different files. Import them individually into NinjaTrader. So the current assembly is the 25th of April. So always check your assembly date. So you can check your assembly date by going into Tools, Remove NinjaScript Add-on, and it will actually show you the current date of the assembly. So always stick with the current update. If you are on a previous assembly, you can go Tools, Remove NinjaScript Assembly, or Add-on, click on the old one, remove it, shut down NinjaTrader. Also make sure your workspaces are closed. Reopen NinjaTrader with no workspaces open, or even just a blank workspace open, and then go and import this whatever new assembly is available. Now, the other folder that we have on here, this one here is 35 gigabytes currently, but that contains a lot of back data. So, for example, just old data that can be used for testing, and I've also got the platform, a download for the platform, an older version of NinjaTrader. So I'm not currently on the brand new version. I'm using a slightly older version of NinjaTrader, just because I have not tested thoroughly the new version yet. So if you're having any issues with your platform, just switch back to an older version until NinjaTrader actually resolve any issues on there. Okay, so you click on import, you click on the assembly, you click on the open, and what that will do is it will import the assembly. Now I've already got the assembly installed, so it's coming up with the import failed. But you'll import the assembly, and it'll ask you probably to close down and restart NinjaTrader, so do that. Once you've imported the tools, we're going to just go and set up the account. So make sure you're not connected to any data feed when you're doing this, and also make sure that your workspace is just a blank workspace. So click on the Accounts tab, right click in the field and go Add Simulation Account, and this is just going to set up some sim accounts that we're going to use for the DTB system. So I'm going to call it DTB MNQ, because we're going to be working on the MNQ1. And select your commission structure, so whatever commission structure you have on your platform, and then put an account balance that you're going to be working with. So whatever account balance you're going to be working with, do that. I've put a little space next to sim. I haven't tried that before, but let's see what that looks like. Okay. Oh, great. It just separates the sim from the DTB. So you can do that too. So again, we're going to add another sim account. So I'm going to push space, and I'm going to call it DTB MNQ2. Set my commission structure and put in $1,000. Okay, so I've got my two sim accounts set up. So that is great. Okay, Now let's actually go and create the trading hours template. So we click on Tools, Trading Hours. Now trading hours is a good thing to set up because we want to try and avoid specific times of the day. So we definitely want to avoid the New York Open. You know, you can picture the New York Open as a group of angry, drunken football players. You don't know what the hell's going to happen in that time when New York opens. So we just avoid it completely. Not to say that the system won't work during that time. It's just, why even risk it? Let Wall Street and the other manipulators of the market do their thing in those minutes of open. Okay, so we're going to go and create a trading hours template now for Asia, London, and New York. So whichever trading hours you like to use, go and set it up for these. Asia, the Asian period is actually very good because the market is moving at a nice, steady, slow pace, and it's great for people in the US as well because it's late evening or early evening, after dinner. You know, you can sit for maybe 2 or 3 hours, enter a few scalping trades, and you're basically done. You don't have to have any long positions running. You don't have to trade during the chaotic session of New York. So whichever time zone you want to work with, these are just times that I have picked up or that I have picked that avoid the crazy times of openings and closing of the markets. Okay, so we're going to scroll down to default 24/5, and what we'll do is we will click on that and go copy, and it'll just create a copy of that. And in the left over here, we're going to select a name for it. So I'm going to just put 00 so that it comes right on top of the list. So 00 and Asia. And we're going to create the same as I've got on the template over here. So go ahead and copy the same settings as I am using. So Asia, and I'm going to go 6:15 p.m. to 3 a.m. and we're using US UTC -5. So also make sure your platform is set to UTC -5, and this is really important because if you're going to be sharing charts in the group or sharing charts with anybody else that you might be trading with, you all will be looking at the exact same data on the chart. So it really makes a huge difference that everybody's on the same data and on the same trading hours on the charts, because it just makes it simple when you're sharing. Okay, so 3, and then once you've called it the name, just go and click on Tuesday and press the delete button on your keyboard to remove Tuesday to Friday. And then once you've done that, you can double click on Monday, and we're going to set up the trading hours for the week. Okay, so Monday, we're going to just select Sunday on there because the market opens on Sunday and we're going to select 6:15 a.m. to just avoid the first 15 minutes of open. So 6:15 a.m. to to Monday, and this is going to be 3 a.m. Okay, so once you've done that, you can right click on that and go add Monday through to Friday. Okay, so once that has been set up, now you can, so that's that. So click on apply, just so that it saves it. If you don't click on apply, it just won't save it. Alright, now the next one we can do is go back to default 24/5, click on it again and go copy, and then select the second one. So you can go 00 and then you can go London, and you can go 3:15 a.m. to 8 a.m. Okay. Again, click on Tuesday, delete Tuesday to Friday. Okay, now we double click on the Monday and we actually choose. So we choose from Monday 3 a.m. to Monday 8 a.m. Sorry, 3:15 a.m. So remember, we're matching the same settings. So Monday 3:15 a.m. Oh, hang on. London 3:15 a.m. to 8 a.m. Okay, and then we can right click, add Monday through Friday. And then once you've done that, click on apply. And we'll do the last one now. So default, copy, I'm going to call it New York. So New York, we're going to start at 10:15 to avoid the New York Open as well as the California Open. So 10:15 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, we're avoiding the last hour of market, just to make it simple. Okay, so delete the rest, down, click on it, and select New York. Okay, so we're going to go Monday. We're going to select 10:15 a.m. to Monday 4 p.m. Okay, right click, add Monday through Friday 10:15 to 4 and apply. So Asia, London and New York are all saved, and we're going to click on OK, and I'm just going to make sure they're there. So tools, trading hours, and they are there. If you don't click on apply, it won't have them there. So anyway, just check that they are definitely there, and then just go and have a quick look at the data to make sure there's no mistakes you've put in there. So obviously Friday 6:15 a.m. to Saturday is not going to you see, that's we've made the mistake already. This is supposed to be 6:15 p.m. See, this is why we go and check. We go and check what we have done to make sure we haven't made a mistake. So I've done that. So I'm just going to go and edit mine quickly. 6:15 p.m. 6:15 p.m. So Thursday 6:15 p.m. to Friday 3 a.m. and then Friday is we're gonna go 6:15. Actually, there's no Friday 6:15 p.m. so we can just go and remove Friday. So basically Thursday, it's going to be Thursday to Friday 3 a.m. so that's going to be obviously the Asian Open. Okay, so once we've done that, apply. Okay, tools, trading hours, just make sure everything's good again. So 6:15 to 3 a.m. good. London 3:15 to 8 good. New York 10:15 to 4 perfect. Set up good. Okay, so the next thing we can do is set up the workspace. So we're going to go workspaces, and just make sure you haven't got multiple workspaces open, because that actually just clogs up NinjaTrader and you're going to have major performance issues with that. So you're going to have an untitled one which is going to be blank. So the one we're working on now is a blank workspace. So you can go there now and you can go new workspace. So click on the new and you can just call it DTB Scalping. That'll be a good name for it. Okay, so that's that. So you'll always have an untitled one with nothing in it, and then you'll have your other workspace open. So those are the only two you should really have open at a time. Now that we've set up the workspace, we're going to set up some charts. So we're going to work on the MNQ. So I'm just going to go and remove some of this information over here. So chart setup, we're going to go new chart. We're going to select MNQ. Now, if your instrument isn't in the top list over there, just scroll down to micros, it'll be in there. Or even in futures, it'll be in there. So whichever instrument you're working with, you can do that. So NQ, we're going to be selecting the analytical bars in this example, and we're going to load today's date. So today is the custom range. Today is the 28th to 28th, and we're going to select the trading hours template. It's currently the Asian hours template, so I'm selecting 6:15 to 3 a.m. break at end of day. Okay. And that is going to bring up a chart. Okay, so good thing is that we're going to be seeing today's data only. So it's going to bring up the 27th. And okay, so next thing we'll do is just go into the data series again. And this is where we're going to select our trading hours. Now, what I wanted to show you, the reason why you select trading hours is exactly this. Some days it's a lot worse than others, but what happens is you have the market open, goes up 30 ticks, comes down 30 ticks, all in the space of 1 or 2 seconds. So that it's complete manipulation or whatever's going on there. So we just avoid that, because the indicators are designed to work off accurate market data, and that to me is not accurate market data at all. So that's why we go to data series and we choose our template. So I'm going to be choosing Asia 6:15 a.m. to 3 a.m. Okay, perfect. Like that. And at this stage we can actually just minimize that. So we've set up a chart, but we can also now go connect to our account. So I'm going to connect to a live account that I am using. So it's a personal live account on here. So you've connected to your data. So even if you haven't got a live account, if you've got a SIM account that you're using, you can certainly just use that one. So that's going to bring up your current data. So currently now it is 1:30 a.m. and the chart started at 6:15. So we're only analyzing today's data. So that is the data from today. Now, so that is our one chart that we have set up. Now what we want to do is we want to look for scalping opportunities with our chart. So we're going to go now look at the next step, which is strategy analyzer setup. So just pay attention to this next step. It's a little bit detailed, but once you've actually done it once or done it a few times, you can actually run through it pretty quickly and also save it, so you don't have to go and redo it every time. So we're going to go to new and we're going to go to strategy analyzer. So give that a moment to come up. Okay, so it's come up on another screen of mine. I'll just bring it over. So new strategy analyzer. Actually, before we start working with this, I'm just going to move this out the way and I'm going to save this workspace. So workspace and save. What I also like to do, because if NinjaTrader crashes, sometimes it deletes your workspace, which can happen, and it can actually corrupt your workspace. So I go to DTB Scalping and I go save as, and I basically just call it DTB Scalping copy. So this way, if you have your workspace corrupted and gone, you're not losing your whole workspace. Okay, so back to the strategy analyzer. This is what we're going to be doing. So we have got a analytical bars 8.8, so we'll be working off that data. So we're going to run an optimization on today's data, and that's going to help us determine scalping opportunities. So you can run your optimization, so if you, for example, this one here, 6:15 p.m. So from about 8 o'clock onwards, you can run your optimization and continually run it throughout your trading day or throughout your trading time, every 15 to 20 minutes or 1 hour, depending on how the market is moving. But we'll run through that in a moment. So we want to choose our strategy. So we're going to be looking at the analytical bar strategy 2. Okay, so that is the one we're going to be looking at on this in this example. So analytical bar strategy 2, we're going to be choosing optimization. And the first thing we're going to be looking at is the arrow count. So arrow count, we're going to increase the arrow next to that, and we're going to choose between 1 and 5. Now, if you were using a bar size with a flat baseline like a 24-1 or a 20 or a 48-1, you won't be selecting a 1 as your arrow count. You'll be starting from 2, so 2 to 4. So those are the most common settings. For this, because we have an even bar size like an 8.8, we're going to be using arrow count from 1 to 5. Okay, so once you've done that, increments of 1, you can just go and narrow that. We're not going to be using a time slot because we've already created our trading hours template. We're not going to be using stop ticks or target ticks. And setting A. So setting A is the first thing you're gonna adjust. So you're going to choose 1 as a minimum and 20 as a maximum. You can go 1 to 40 as well, so depending on which bar size you use, but 1 to 20 will be okay in this example. Setting B, we're going to go 1 to 58. So that is the range of those. Actually, in a future update, I'm going to just put the details in there of what the range is. It'll just make it simpler. Now, trading type, we're going to be looking at trend and reverse. So click on both of those. Scroll down. We're not going to be looking at the global money management. Okay, we're going to be looking at the data series. So we're going to select our MNQ there, and we're going to select our analytical bars 8.8. Okay, and start date, we're going to look at our start date, which is the 28th. So today's the 28th to the 29th. So we're going to select today's date and tomorrow's date, just so that it gives us up to the moment data. Now we're going to select our trading hours that we created in here. So Asia, 6:15 p.m. to 3 a.m. We want to include our commissions in our report, so it shows more accuracy. We also want to include slippage. Now the slippage for NQ at the moment is between 3 and 4 ticks. 3 is fine to use. We can have our 10 results, which will be okay. And we want to optimize on max net profit. So find your max net profit, and everything else is as it is. And I just click. So at this point, once you've set that up like this, once you've gone through all your settings and you make sure that everything is how it should be, you can actually go and save this as a template. So click on template, save, and you can call it MNQ 8-8. So I created it earlier, so I'm just going to save that. Yes. And the good thing now is once you've got it saved as a template, I'll just close my optimizer. I'll go new strategy analyzer like this. Give it a moment to pop up again. So, and the good thing now is you can go and choose your strategy. Then you can go down to template, you can go load, and you can actually load your settings. So that's great, and it's got all your preset settings in there. So I didn't give you the template for this, just so that you can learn to go and set up the settings yourself. And it's got everything in there like it is. The only thing that it doesn't have is the instrument. So you got to just go in and select the instrument again. So MNQ, I don't know why it doesn't save the instrument, but it doesn't. So once you've got that, you can now go click on, you've already saved it, you can go click on run. And that's going to bring up 11,000 iterations. Now, depending on the performance of your system, you're going to have different speeds as to how quick this runs. On mine, it takes less than 2 minutes to basically run this optimization. It might take a bit longer on yours. So you let that run, and while it's running, you can just review your settings to make sure you haven't missed anything out or done anything that you shouldn't. Don't go click anywhere else in NinjaTrader while the optimization is running, because it's quite memory. It takes a lot of memory and a lot of resources to run these optimizations. So as soon as you start clicking on different charts and different things, it's going to freeze up NinjaTrader, and you're basically going to lose. You have to shut down NinjaTrader and restart. So unfortunately, that is the case with this. It does actually consume your system resources. It's running a lot of testing in the background, especially if you are using a larger date and stuff. We're using just today's data, so it's not going to be a lot, but still, we don't want to be clicking on anything with NinjaTrader while optimizations are running. You can just use your middle mouse wheel just to roll it down, just to check all your settings. If you have made a mistake on any of your settings, just click on abort once and wait for it to clear, and then go and adjust your setting and go from there. Okay, so that is giving us our results so far for the day. So not a huge, no fireworks over there. So it's telling us that the best settings is a reverse with 2 arrow count, setting A 3, setting B 37. So just remember that, 2, 3, 37 reverse. Or reverse 2, 3, 37. You can write it down if it helps. So go and select your chart. Okay, and then what you do is just increase your chart size with the scroll bar. And if you've got these bars that are thick like this, just click in the area and click and hold your Alt button, your ALT button on your keyboard, and the up arrow, and that will just decrease the size of your bars. Okay, so now that that's run, I'm just going to bring up the control center, and I'm actually going to minimize my control center and just keep this. So 2 arrows, setting A3, 37 reverse. So let's go and move that out the way. So before I do that, I just want to confirm that my chart data is matching the optimizer. So if I look at this now, I can see that I'm going to click on this little crosshair here and just make this global and make this one also global. And then what you can do is you can view your chart data. So you can see that the bars are not 100% lined up. So I'm just going to right click on the bottom chart, go reload all data, all historical data, and just reload that again. So 6:15. So 6:15. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and load up the strategy on this chart. So I'm going to go to the analytical bar strategy 2. I'm going to choose reverse. So we're looking at this. We're going to go reverse. And we've got a 2 arrow count, which we said what that was. And then settings 337. So we're going to choose 3 and 37. And then we're going to apply this to our Sim 101, or our Sim DTB MNQ1 chart. So those are the only settings you're going to add on there. You're going to just put your arrow count, your reverse A and B settings. We're going to leave on bar close. I will make this immediately submit synchronize account. I'm going to leave my slippage there. I had 3 on the optimizer, so I'm leaving 3 on there. Once you've done that, click on enable, apply, and OK. So don't just go enable OK and just click fast. You've got to be quite slow with NinjaTrader. You've actually got to just give it time for every command to execute. Okay, so then we're going to basically compare the trades on the chart to make sure that they match the optimizer. So exactly the same trades on the chart are matching the optimizer. So you can see the entries and the exits are exactly right. And I'll just increase this very quickly. So you will notice, however, that the net profit will be different, and that is because the optimizer will close off the results when it finishes running, whereas the strategy on the chart will still have the position running. Now, we will go and select the chart in our chart trader that we have it selected on. So we've got our chart in our chart trader as DTB MNQ1. So that's where we've got the strategy running. Okay. So now that we've got that running on a chart, we are going to just move our optimizer out of the way. And what we're going to do next is we're going to right click on this top section and go duplicate window, and we're going to add this window to the top. So we're going to basically have 2 charts that are the same, and we're going to just decrease the size of our bottom chart. So this is if you're working off one screen. This is really great for that. You can go and increase the size of your top chart. And on your top chart, you're going to select your trading account that you're going to work with. Okay, so if you're going to be doing this on Sim for a while, just choose your Sim MNQ2. Okay, so that's why I created 2 accounts. So your first few days of using the DTB system will be running on Sim and just playing around with a few things until you really get familiar with how the setup actually works. So I'll switch it over to my live account. And what we're doing now is, the idea behind this is that we are looking at what the automated strategy on our Sim account is doing. So if you look at the positions on the Sim account, you will notice that the accuracy rate is very high. It's saying 66.7, but the drawdown is very less. We've actually only got two losing trades the entire day on this strategy. So if you want to see the information a bit higher, we'll just increase the size of the chart. I'm going to right click on the chart and go to data series, and over here I'm going to increase the size of the lines. So the NinjaScript profitable trade markers, I'm actually going to just make this as a 3. Actually, I can even make it as a 4 and a 4. And what that's going to do is just going to highlight those trades very clearly. So this is what the strategy has done, the optimized result of the strategy today. So we've got a few, positions, 20 odd ticks there, 34 odd ticks there, you've got 42 ticks there. So when you've got, I just clicked on the ruler button on the left over here. So when you import the NCAT toolbar, you've got this little toolbar which is very, very handy. And that you use just to, measure different trade positions that are on there. So 1 second, 1, 2, 3, you've got to do 3 clicks to show that. To remove all of those, you just click on the bin button over here and it removes them all. So the idea behind this is to see what positions the strategy is in and then take similar positions on our trading chart. Now we've got a blank trading chart on top, so we've got a confirmation at the bottom of more than likely what is the most successful direction of trades. At the moment, our last trade was actually a buy over there and it's actually dropped a bit, so we may have a losing position here. We're not sure yet, but we'll monitor that. But at the moment, the strategy is in a buy position. So if you had to run this optimizer, for example, if you had to run this optimizer earlier today, say you ran this optimizer at 8:48, which is 2 hours after market open, you would have been given these successful trades, and the strategy optimizer will have given you the results that you've had 100% or 90% profitable trades, and you can load up this chart and then copy it on top. So whenever you're running your optimizer, it's going to continually give you the best settings possible, and all you have to do is go and run your optimizer fairly regularly. So every 15 minutes or so is fine, even longer depending, if the market is going slower. So run the optimizer, it's going to give you the best setting for A and B. And all you do is when you have that running, your optimizer running, you go and edit. I'm taking a chance here by moving windows when that's running. You basically go into the strategy and you disable the strategy by clicking the enable button. You click on apply once you've done that. Then you change the setting for A and setting B. You re-enable that, apply, OK. And then what that's going to do is it's going to put those current settings, which are the best probable trades that have been entered. So trading is all about being a numbers probability game. So we're just trying to increase our probability of trading in the right direction by seeing what the strategy is actually giving us. Okay, so back to our top chart. We've made a duplicate chart of our bottom one, and we've just chosen our account. So now we can go and we can add on our indicators. So again, I'm going down to some indicators. So I'm going to select the ultimate bands, and the default settings for that will be fine. So if it's, you can always go and load different settings for your for your indicators. So I'll just save this as default. So template reset will always bring your default settings. You can go and click on apply and OK. So that's bringing up your ultimate bands. And the other indicator I like to add to this chart is the shadow trading divergence. Apply, OK. So what that does is it's actually going to give you, so I'll just increase the size of this. No, it won't actually, it'll be fine. So that's going to give you two really, really powerful indicators. And the gist of this indicator is you're going to have the divergences showing on your chart. So those are very likely opportunities of price reversing. And you can have green bars and gold bars. So when the bars are green, that just means the sellers are in control. And when the bars are gold, when the bars are green, the buyers are in control. And when the bars are gold, the sellers are in control. So when you are looking at your chart, you are looking at what the current position is of your automated strategy at the bottom that's running on your sim. And you're looking for opportunities to scalp the top chart. Now, as I mentioned, if you had run this earlier, you would have had these results over here. So you're looking at times or opportunities to trade the market. So you're looking at opportunities of when the strategy is in, for example, a buy on the bottom chart. You can look at scalping opportunities on your top chart. When the strategy hits a sell, like it did over there, you can look at opportunities on your top chart, and you'll see that, if you loaded this a little bit earlier, so 10:35, you'll notice that the strategy entered a sell position over there. Your indicator has just given you extra divergences. You've had the price come right up to the top bands. At this stage, you now got gold bars. You can now actually enter your sell position and monitor the price coming down. Over here, you've had the strategy enter a buy position, okay, over here, but we still got these gold bars. So you can have your position still continuing on and just moving your stop. So a good thing to do is you can basically do scalping on your top chart. On the left here, you can select your ATM. So an ATM is just a really good feature to be able to manage a position. So let's go and create one quickly. So I'm going to go custom, and I'm going to choose a stop loss. So let's make it 35 stop loss and 35 profit target. And I'm going to go save as template, and I'm going to call it 35_35, and I'm going to go save, and then OK. So what that does now is it's basically created a template. So whenever I click on buy or sell now with that strategy ATM enabled, it's going to produce a stop and a target based on on the position. So that's what we are looking for. We're looking for opportunities now. So again, we might not have entered at this stage of that buy, but the price has now bounced off this ultimate bands as we were speaking. So that there could be an opportunity now, even though this position ultimately looks like a losing position because it would have entered over there. We're still looking for opportunities of where price can be bouncing off the band, we're getting our divergences, and we can actually enter a position. So if you had waited while I was explaining and this price bouncing off, you could actually enter a position and the price would now be 17 ticks up. So we always just want to be in the right direction as the strategy is saying, because ultimately the strategy is telling us that it's got a very high percent accuracy rate, profitable rate. It's only got a few losing positions. It's had some very nice bounces up and down. So there it entered a position, a sell. So we actually now, if we were in a position on the top, we would exit the market. So what we're having now is we're on our top chart. The strategy has just entered a sell. So I'm looking for an opportunity now to enter into a sell position on the top chart. Now I can go and enter right now because the price is coming up to the band. So what I'm going to do is I will enter this position. So I'm going to do a sell over here. It's entered my ATM, okay? But because these bars are gold and I want to basically protect my 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 capital, my position, I'm actually going to just move my stop just to above the bands. And I'll move my target, I'll just keep it over there, that is fine. I'll just let that run for a while. So the strategy's in a sell. We're coming up to the band, so I entered a sell over there. It would be great to also wait for like a divergence like we've had over there. So just a little scalping opportunity over there that we found in the same direction as what the strategy has given us. So while you're in a position like this, you can go and manage your stop and your target. And also, while you are in a position even, you can go to your strategy analyzer and you can actually go and run that again. So you can let that run while you are in a position, and what that will do is it will just keep running the settings to make sure that you're on the best possible settings. So again, being a numbers probability game, we are just taking trades that would give us the best possible outcome, and it's just a great little scalping opportunity to do this. Now you can also go and, for example, go to this chart and you can go duplicate in new tab, and you can go and experiment with some other indicators. So you can right click on your chart, go to your indicators, and on this chart maybe remove the ultimate bands, keep your shadow trading, and maybe go and add a DTB. What about the trend following? Let's put the trend following on there. I think the default setting is 8, but I'm just going to put 22. You can go and select some settings and just see what's looking good. So I'll put an 8 because the market is nice and slow. So there we go. So that just shows you, the market's come down. It's broken through the support for the trend following. It's come up. It's bouncing off this trend following. So a nice little extra confirmation that we've got a good signal. So you can go and open up duplicate windows of your top chart like this, and just have a few different versions of the indicators. So you can go and duplicate again, and say for example on this chart you're going to go to your indicators and you can remove the trend following as an example, and you can go and try some of the others. So this is just going to get you and help you become familiar with the different tools that that DTB Traders has. So what other ones can we put on there? We can put on, there's quite a few actually. We can put on, let's work with the strategy line, okay, and we can work off the velocity. Let's put those on there. Apply, okay. Again, it's just giving us good confirmation there. We've got some settings. We're looking at what the chart is doing. If this crosshair is bothering you, you can always just go and keep it to local like this. So you click on, and then it'll only show on the chart that you're looking at. And then just go from there, so you've entered a position according to what the strategy has done. You got the odds in your favor because the strategy has got a higher rate of accuracy. And just go from there. So this is just a little scalping thing that you can experiment with while you're getting to know the DTB system. As I mentioned, you can go and find your strategy optimizer, and you're welcome to go and modify the settings according to what it is telling you over there. So these settings will frequently change with what is showing as the best results. Now, because that last strategy had a losing position, it's now found even better results. So you can go back to your to your bottom chart and you can go and modify your strategy. But if this is working for you, continue with it. You might have 1 or 2 losing positions and then it'll pick up again. But definitely go and continually run your strategy analyzer to make sure that the positions that you are in are matching your basic trading chart. And then just monitor what's happening on your chart, monitor what's happening with the indicators. And if you see a position, moving against you, if it breaks through different support levels, don't be afraid to close up your position, modify your settings on your chart, and continue going from there. But right now, we're showing the sellers in control of price. So when you see more gold bars than you see green bars, that means that the sellers are basically in control of price. So these little indicators that we have just really give you great, great indications of what price is doing, where support levels are, where resistance levels are. So go and experiment with a few different versions or a few different indicators on your chart. You've got pennants, you've got actually so many different indicators that you can go and use. And then once you've got those loaded, it'll just help you become more familiar with what the indicators are, what the strategies look like, and just a great way to get started. On the shadow trading divergence indicator, if you don't like to see this bottom window, you can also just find the you can go and narrow it down like this. So you're just looking at a nice clean chart. So once you've done this for a while and you've run your optimizer, you've found the best settings, you can just go ahead and enter positions on your chart and go from there. Great, so hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to be launching a few more videos on the specific strategies themselves in the in future videos, and go from there. So we can get strategies running, we can try different approaches, we can work with different things. You can also run the strategy according to the best settings on your live account. So if you want to select your live account and let the strategy run according to the best settings that it's given out, that's another approach. But this video was more just about setting up a little scalping chart where you can take your, you might even just scalp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 candles. You don't have to go and take the whole, the range up. You could just enter 1 or 2 of these positions to match the strategy direction, and you could be out. You could be out of the market in a short period of time, and you only need 2 or 3 trades a day, depending on what size contracts you are trading and what instrument you are trading, to be out the market. You don't have to be sitting here the entire day to to trade. You basically want to accomplish getting a few winning positions, getting to know the strategies, getting to know the tools, and before long you'll be very profitable. Great, so thank you for joining me on this video. It is almost an hour in length, but hopefully it'll just give you a good little starting point that you can work with the tools and go from there. Okay, thank you and chat soon.